Hello guys, welcome back to another one of my videos. My name is Kieran Lee and today I'm going to be making a beautiful chocolate eclair. Okay, first thing before we start off, I just want to say a massive thank you to my good friend Hana Brooks, who created the intro soundtrack for me. She's incredible and I encourage you very much to go and check out her YouTube channel. She's got one as well. The link is in the description, so check her out and see some of the amazing things that she's done with music. Okay, so for me and my channel, we are going to make a chocolate eclair filled with some chantilly cream, a classic eclair, okay? Who doesn't like an eclair? So first things first, we're going to put our water and our butter together in a saucepan on a high heat. We want to do this until the butter has completely melted and it's boiling over. Then we're going to shoot our flour into the mixture, and that will bind it and that will create a dough-like consistency. So I'm going to put the butter and the water first. Don't panic, I will bring you closer as soon as this step's done. So I'm going to put this on a high heat and then let this simmer. I do recommend keeping an eye on it and giving it a good mix every couple of minutes just to help it along. It doesn't take long. So when the butter and the water have started to boil, what we're going to do is we're going to shoot flour straight into the mixture and bind it. So we need to sieve our flour onto a baking sheet. It doesn't have to be a baking sheet. I'm using a baking sheet, but you can just use an A4 piece of paper if you've not got any baking paper. So that's all sieved and ready. I've folded it in half so we can shoot it in there. Next, while we're still waiting for this, 2 eggs, we want to just mix them into a small dish because they're going to go in after we've combined the flour. You crack me up. And give these a little whisk. Now we want to remember to add the eggs and the flour after the water and the butter has completely, well, the butter has completely melted and started to boil over. We need to make sure that it's off the heat, because if it's on the heat and you add the eggs, obviously the eggs are going to scramble, and I don't know about you, but I want a delicious dessert, not scrambled egg on toast. So our butter and our water are coming off the heat. As you can see, butter is completely melted. There's no solid bits in there. I'll just splatter it all over the table, shall I? So now we want to shoot in really quickly our flour. That has to go in so quick. And then we're just going to, with a spatula, just kind of bind it together. Tell you what, it does actually look a bit like scrambled egg, but that's not what we're making, I promise you. So you should be looking at something that looks a little bit like that. Now, what we're going to do next is to add our eggs, and then we're going to swap to our whisk and whisk it. So we should be looking at something now that looks a little bit like this kind of consistency. It's a bit like mashed potato, to be honest. That's the kind of consistency I think we're looking for here. So once that's done, now we have a piping bag. Let's move the mixture into the piping bag and then we'll pipe it onto our tray. Guys, so the eggs, the butter, the water and the flour are combined. That makes our choux pastry. That's the essential part of the eclair. Now we're going to pipe it into we're going to scrape it into a piping bag, and then we're going to pipe it onto a baking tray, and we're going to put it into the oven. Okay, so we've got our baking tray here. And we're going to pipe on our eclairs. Now, you don't want them to be too long, and you want to make sure that you leave a gap in between each eclair. Obviously, they're going to expand, so remember to leave about 1 inch in between each one, and just keep going to as many as you can get out of the bag. Okay, so we've got all our eclairs on and ready to bake. We're going to put them in the oven for 10 minutes on 200 degrees. Then after 10 minutes we're going to check them and we're going to put them back on for another 10 minutes, but we're going to turn the temperature up to 200 degrees. So for now, let's put them in at 200 and then we'll check where we're at in 10 minutes. So guys, when the eclairs are done, the choux pastry is done even, we want to take them out. So they was in there for 20 minutes altogether, put them on for 10 minutes. At first, 10 minutes on 200 degrees Celsius, and then I put them up to 220 degrees Celsius for the final 10 minutes. So they was in 20 minutes altogether. Now when they come out, what we need to do is we need to just stab them. I've got a little kind of injector piping nozzle here, which is what I'll use for the cream. But if you haven't got one of these, then I suggest just using a knife. I mean, I did that before I had this. Just use a knife and just give them a stab in both sides. So these have all got holes in either side of them, so I'm now just going to let them cool down and I'm going to let them chill, and then we'll come and make the cream and prepare that while they're chilling. So let's see these guys in a bit. Okay, so while we're waiting for our eclairs to cool down and chill out in the fridge, we're going to get our cream ready and whipped. So when they are ready to be filled, the eclairs, then we're all prepared. Okay, so let's just pop this in. I haven't done this is 300 ml. I'll probably do about 250 ml. Do you know what? Let's just do 300 ml. And let's just whip it. Idiots! I haven't even plugged the thing in. Hang on. Oh God, cook yourself a brain. Okay, so now let's whip. So when your cream has been sufficiently whipped, what we need to do is we need to get it into a piping bag and get it into those eclairs. I know the eclairs won't be ready yet, but we can just leave this in the fridge. Oh, the cooker's just turned itself off. Oh, it's completely silent and I can just hear myself and all the voices in my head. Okay, so this is done. And this is going to go into the fridge just to chill out while we wait for our eclairs. They won't be much longer, and then we'll eject this cream into the eclair. Actually, we're just going to do it now because the eclairs are ready, so let's just move this. Oh, hang on, let's just move this. Bear with me. So, to fill the eclairs, it's super easy. We've already made the incision, so it's already got the hole. Just start filling them. They'll become heavy, and they might, well, that's good. They might come out the sides, so easy enough. Just get a piece of kitchen roll and give them a little wipe. So you can feel them getting heavier as you're putting the cream in, which is good because it means that they're nice and filled. So, just like I did in my last video, we're going to mix cream, we're going to heat cream up and then mix it with some dark chocolate. I've got some 70% dark chocolate here to make a delicious ganache. So I'm just going to weigh some out. I want it to be exact, just like before, the exact measurements. So I'm going to do 225 grams of cream and 225 grams of dark chocolate. Hang on, I should put it in this bowl, just one sec. Just put that in there. Probably 220 now, but never mind. So I'm going to do 200 grams of chocolate. As my ganache is done, I'm just going to add a little bit of butter, like I said on previously. That just helps give it the shine. It would be ideal if the butter was diced, but never mind. We're just going to wing it. It just gives it that richness, that beautiful shine. Okay guys, when the ganache is done, the chocolate's melted, the butter's melted, it's beautiful, it's shiny, it's rich, it's delicious. We're going to transfer it into a little takeaway tub, just because it's easier for the eclairs to be dunked. So just transfer that in there. This is really good as well, because whatever you don't use from dunking, you can just keep and then like pick it throughout the week. So we've filled the eclairs with cream. What's next is the fun part. We're going to dunk them. Easy to do. Just make sure that you're dunking them on the top not upside down, because when they'll stand they'll roll if they're upside down. So grab them and literally dunk, and then put them back either onto some cooling rack or some baking paper. You're going to want to do this part quite quickly because they're going to want to go back into the fridge quite quickly to set. So try and be as quick as you can with this bit, and it will make a mess. So if you want to wear gloves, then wear gloves. There's probably there's way more Ganache here than what we need, but like I said, I'll use that for something else, so I'm not too worried about it. Okay, these are all done. I'm going to put these in the fridge for them to set with a chocolate coating, and then we'll get them out and taste them. Alright then guys, that is it for today. We have finished our eclairs. You should be looking at something very delicious actually. So I've done some that's just got Cadbury's dairy milk, and I've done some that's chocolate ganache. And I want to do a little test. So I bought these from the supermarket. These are just cheapo eclairs. So I want to slice one open and then see. I want to see the difference between our eclairs and a supermarket eclair. So let's take a look. So this is a supermarket eclair. As you can expect, it's not completely filled with cream. In fact, there's quite a lot of air in there. There's more than I expected, to be fair. It's quite soggy, and I don't know if that's just because it's been in the fridge for, well, days, like a lot longer than ours have. Ours have only been in the fridge for about an hour, but that's ours, and even though it might be smaller in comparison to size, there is a lot more cream, and you can even see that there's a massively thick layer of ganache on there. That looks just delicious. So guys, thank you so much for watching today. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you've learned something, and I hope you try and bake some of these eclairs, because they're so easy to do. They don't take long at all. You can have them all done with cooking and chilling time in about an hour. So simple. Obviously if you want to make more, then double the recipe. But yeah, like, there's a huge difference between these and store-bought eclairs, and they don't cost much to make. It's just chocolate, cream, some water, butter, flour. You know, it's so simple to do. So please make these. Our eclairs can just be even better than the ones that you buy in the supermarket. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, and subscribe if you want to see more don't subscribe, just subscribe. Testing. Subscribe if you want to see some more videos like this. I'm going to plan to release a new video every Thursday, so if you've enjoyed this, then please subscribe. It will really help me out. So I'll see you on the next one, but for now, cheers.